Our countdown of the 100 greatest video games of all time continue. We are at number 3, Victor Lucas. That means there are only 2 more installments after today. Coming in at number 3.
Big one.
It's Zelda, but it's not the Zelda you probably think we're gonna say. We are gonna talk about the Zelda from 1992. This is The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, which really is a game that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I know it's near and dear to your heart as well. Why did we pick this instead of that other Zelda that everyone else picks?
Ocarina of Time was, like Super Mario 64, a fantastic way to take this incredibly vaunted franchise into 3 dimensions. But I think it was really A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo that set us on the career paths that we have been on. And in fact, it was so rich with awesome, fantastic Zelda concepts that were borrowed and extended upon and revisited, mimicked, not only in its own franchise, but by several other franchises out there. This kind of set the tone.
I'll tell you why this game is number 3, and you've alluded to it already, but I'm going to go back to your point again, and that is it took something that was esoteric, you know, the role-playing genre, the role-playing franchise, and it made it accessible to people like me. Now, I was never a D&D guy. I was never into that stuff. This took all of those conventions, all of those trappings, which weren't the most accessible in the world, and made them user-friendly. It explained them to me in a way that I understood, and I went on this adventure where I wake up and it's raining right at the start of the game, and I'm a little bit lost, and I have to go find the Master Sword, and I'm underneath a castle, and all of a sudden I'm doing all these things, and I'm in this world, and I'm like, I understand this now. It all makes sense to me now, and that's the magic that the team at Nintendo was able to imbue this game with. I love this thing to this day. This is the Zelda that occupies the largest amount of space in my heart.
Right, totally understood, and it wasn't an easy choice picking between all of these excellent Zelda experiences. Here's a look back at some of the Zelda games we reviewed on Reviews on the Run. What did you think of Zelda Majora's Mask for N64?
The gameplay is very in-depth, and there's so many things to do that it just freaks my brain out sometimes.
Well, if you want to talk value for your money, Zelda always comes through. Miyamoto always comes through. Very similar to Ocarina of Time. The thing that sets Majora's Mask apart from Ocarina of Time is now you're collecting masks. You actually transform and pick up new abilities. There's tons of stuff to do. You're never bored.
And I give it a 7.8.
I can only give this game a 9 out of 10, as opposed to
only a 9 out of 10.
Usually when I play a Zelda game, I'm expecting it to be a 10 out of 10.
I think Zelda is the best-looking video game that Nintendo has ever made. I think.
Well, that's not saying much, but okay, but I agree.
When he's surfing on that spinning wheel thing, that looks awesome, and and the boomerangs and the bow and arrow from first-person perspective, all that stuff looks fantastic.
Right off the top, I gotta say, 10 out of 10.
First of all, it's massive. It's an enormous game, and when you think you're done, you're probably not even halfway there.
Not even close.
It really has gameplay in every type of direction. There's a lot going on. It sinks its teeth into you, and it doesn't let go. Honestly, it's one of the best games I've ever played in my life.
Ever
It is so much fun. Once you get into it and you let the fiction kind of wash over you, and you get to explore a new dungeon, and you just see the absolute genius of the level design.
Absolute genius.
Take away sort of all of the extra goodies about this game. At its core, the gameplay, I mean, you could play this game just with a bunch of boxes and stick figures, and it would be incredible. Such amazing design, Nintendo.
I envy everyone out there who hasn't played this.
So there you be, Legend of Zelda fans. Your Super Nintendo game gets the number 3 spot on our top 100 video games of all time.
And then there were 2.